Fear is the path to the dark side.
Fear spikes engagement.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Well, you know this better than me.
I'll end here, Paul. I understand.
Absolutely not.
Hey, welcome to Angry Capital. I'm Arthur Ballesteros.
What's up, man? Paul Costabile here.
And we're here figuring out the fucked up world of finance and what's going on. I know we're starting off hot here. The algorithm of fear, how big tech sells panic for profit. So look, at this point, Apple's worth more than Japan. Nvidia's richer than most countries. At this point, the only thing big tech hasn't bought is Congress.
Oh, they tried. They just subscribed instead.
And when they're not lobbying lawmakers, they're rewriting the laws of physics in your newsfeed.
Fear spikes engagement. Engagement drives ad dollars, and ad dollars buy lobbyists.
Welcome to the algorithm of fear, where outrage is the product and democracy's just another data point. So this is Angry Capital, where we expose how money runs everything from the absurd to the outright insane. And if we make you laugh or you flinch in horror or you rage share this, hit like and subscribe. 3 shows a week. Same chaos, new crisis. So today's crisis, big tech's empire of influence. Before we talk about fear, though, let's talk about power, because this is the kind of power that you can buy. And this is what Apple is doing, Nvidia is doing. You see these companies investing in America, and look at the money that they are bringing in. Nvidia worth $4.5 trillion, the biggest company ever. I mean, Japan's total GDP is around $4 trillion. Apple's over $4 trillion. I mean, these companies are the size of countries, and their influence spreads into politics and into every inch of money here.
Can we just talk about this for a second? We're talking about one company worth more than an entire nation.
Yes.
That's so crazy to me how far we've gone. Also, said company using nearby nations, if not that nation, to build said products at a cheaper rate, probably with children labor.
Yes.
Talk about how far this has gone from, the capitalism. It's like we talk about capitalism. There's never really been a ceiling on it. But where is the line with this now?
There isn't. No.
You
just said it. That's the thing, is exponential growth every quarter, every year. Every company has to make more. So where does that go? I mean, it cuts the limitations of humanity off.
Well, I mean, it's not really a business anymore, right? It's a sovereign wealth state with a logo. That's kind of...
Yes, exactly. And I mean, you've got tech giants who they've spent $61 million on lobbying in 2024. I mean, just so far this year, just 9-10 months into the year, the top 7 companies have already spent $50 million in lobbying. They're trying to influence Congress. You can see in some of these graphs and these statistics, just the overwhelming number that they're pouring in the millions in order to influence the way the laws are written here for Congress and the way these tech companies are governed and the regulations against them. They can do whatever they want to get that profit.
Dude, lobbying is crazy to me, right? I mean, think about $61 million on lobbying just in 2024 alone. We're in 2025 now. I bet you we're already past that number. I don't know exactly, but
that's $50 million so far.
Yeah.
In the top 7 companies. That's not counting everybody else. That's just the Mag 7.
But this is what's crazy about this is like, there's no real regulations on this. Your legal team outnumbers the Senate. You're not really lobbying. You're legislating. You're becoming the government. You're not, this is like you're glad handing. You're making the moves. Don't we vote for our government to make decisions to better the American people? This doesn't really feel like that, right? It feels like here's enough money. Do what we want so we can be worth more than this country next.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's what's happening. And you're exactly right. It's our democracy that's sold down the river to these companies because people get hurt when capitalism does its thing, whether it's these tech companies being able to put data centers that might cause cancer to the surrounding neighborhood and probably destroy their water sources, but it's going to return a profit here. And guess what they're doing? They're going in and lobbying Congress to reduce some of these restrictions so they can do that and poison communities.
Wow.
And it's just, and the thing about, you bring up a good point about lobbying, like it is insane that firms can hire teams of basically lawyers to go bully Congress into passing laws in favor for them. It's such a ridiculous system.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, it's interesting. Should companies this large be treated like nations? Like, what do you think? If corporations spend more on lobbying than many countries spend on education, what happens to our democracy?
I mean, you know what America's going to do first? They're going to go to war with a company. I mean, that if you treat these companies like countries, they're going to bomb Nvidia if they're producing chips for China instead of them. You know, that's never going to turn out well.
I mean, look, we talked about this last episode with the war in AI. It's like, are we just going to go fight a bunch of iPads that have guns on them? Is that what we're talking about here?
Maybe. I mean, at some point here. And that's what they want to build. And that's what they want to get this money for, is to build those things. And most people, they say that they don't want government, you know, involved in a lot of this. They don't want government to be regulating these tech companies. Free market, let them do what they want to get the profit to, prop up my 401k.
And here, I just want to point out too, like they're not influencing just policy and government. The problem with this, with big tech, is they're influencing perception. Okay, because once you own the conversation, you own the narrative, you own what people are talking about, how we actually behave as a culture.
Right. And that's how they influence it. And, you know, most of them started off as very benign social media companies. When you think of, remember what Facebook used to be? Were you on in the early days in like 2008?
I was, yeah. I joined in 2005. I went to college in 2005. I remember waiting to go to college to get a Facebook account. You had to have a college email. Remember? Were you old enough for that?
Yeah, I was a little bit younger than that, but I was around the era when it became public to everybody. And it was like, oh, wow. And it was so, you know, it was fun for a number of years. But now it's turned into this thing. Obviously, we've lived through it, through all these election cycles, and the way that it influences public perception through the spread of whether it be fake news, fake narratives, just misinformation, whatever, echo chambers, whatever it may be. But like almost 30% of Americans say that the government should regulate content on social media. Do you think that the government should be regulating content, Paul?
Absolutely not. And we actually saw this play out in real time with the last election. I don't know the exact stat on this, but wasn't the big Hunter Biden laptop story, didn't Facebook admit to specifically smushing that story for the election?
Oh yeah, yes. Yeah.
And I believe they caught someone from the Biden campaign. Like, I believe it was involved with the Biden. We got to fact check this. Obviously, I'm not. I don't have the facts, but I do think there's been proof. A broader sense, there's been proof that the government's already tried to do this. There's secret calls that have happened. I think when Elon took over X, there was a lot of back end stuff happening there with the election that he was trying to expose. I think it's already happening. I think it's completely wrong. I think that the freedom of the internet is one of the best American rights we've ever had. I actually get so scared about the internet being policed. I think it's the last kind of resort we will have as Americans and as people in the world to get our messages out, to share things, to actually have discourse. I mean, that's why when we talked about Polymarket, that's a great example of, obviously it's swaying things, elections, but it's also, what I love about it is that data. Can you imagine if a Polymarket was then regulated by the government? You don't have real-time data on things that are happening because the government wants to sway things in their favor. So that's not okay to me.
Don't you think there should be some sort of regulation when, especially something like Polymarket is gambling and it can be predatory in nature? Shouldn't somebody be overseeing that?
I mean, yes, but I think it's very tricky when you say the government should regulate the internet. I don't agree that the government should regulate the internet. I think that there's better regulations. Why doesn't the government start regulating the government? Why don't we start there?
Because they're not going to. That's like asking the police to police themselves. You know, there's just two different rules that apply here.
Well, I guess I'm the outcast here. You say only 28% of Americans say the government should regulate content, right? So 50 say the government should have more of an influence. I don't know. More of an influence over content produced by AI companies. Yeah, I guess. Then again, we also know the government's investing in defense contracts with AI. So what?
They want to be able to influence it in both ways. They want to be able to influence through AI the narrative of going to war, that the war is going the way they want it to, and then they want to profit off the back end in the actual destruction and rebuilding of it.
Well, that's why I said the perception thing, though, man. This is what we're talking about here. It's not just lobbying and changing government. It's the influence of perception, and I think optics is a big part of all this. You know, it's about what can we do, and I personally don't buy that. Like, the government's branding is just to help us. Like, we've been sold this idea for so long. Oh no, we're going to regulate your content on social media because we have your best interest. What we've seen with elections, I mean, COVID's another hot take that we could bring up where like this happened worse than ever in the COVID era where you had scientific news articles being smushed on social media because they didn't align politically with certain viewpoints. That's not a free social media. That is an influence of perception that affects health, that affects public health. I mean, people are going to get mad at me for mentioning COVID, depending on what side you're on, but that happened on social media. Do you remember? Someone posted online that masks were stupid? First of all, you get 2 likes, but then you may get your post maybe get taken down. I mean, this is not. That's a government opinion or that's a political opinion being smushed.
Sure.
I think social media has actually overcorrected this. I think we're getting a little bit more back to even. But I even see it too, man. I did a daily roast show on my Instagram. I got banned from TikTok because I was making Epstein jokes. I mean, I can't talk about Epstein.
No, you cannot.
Now this episode's banned because I brought him up. I mean,
thanks a lot, Paul.
Now no one's going to see this episode because I'm talking about Epstein. But I think
thanks a lot.
Which, by the way, we have the flight logs. If you comment below and let us know what you think of this,
don't implicate me in this. No,
I'll get the Epstein flight logs. We do want to hear
who is Epstein. I don't know what you're talking. Who?
Oh yeah, you're just scared because you want to be on the government side of policing your thought online. Here's what I'll say.
What I want to be on the side of is I want to be on the side of misinformation not spreading. And if you don't have some sort of oversight in some way, and this I'll end here, Paul. I understand. If you don't have some sort of oversight, private companies who obviously don't have your best interests in mind, they can influence and do whatever they want when everybody's on them, and they can steer public perception however they want. What if it's in the wrong direction? What if it's towards destruction?
I think we've gone too far, my friend, where it's all in the wrong direction. And that's why us as people, and that's why I bring up the poly markets of the world. The internet has a group mind mentality of you could really look at real numbers of people and what they feel and get to a more even line in certain things. And when you have government or social media power swaying that perception, it gets really dangerous, I think. I think we've seen it time and time again. It freaks me out. I want to be able to say what I want. I want to see users. And look, I'm a victim of this too. When I pull up my X account, I see a certain lens of my timeline based on algorithms, based on it's all
how you're feeling.
It's all spin, and it's not fair that it's all spin. You know, there's no real central place anywhere. So I don't know.
You're saying the silent part out loud. It's not fair that they can kind of predict and manipulate the algorithm to elicit different emotions from you, like fear. They can do that, and you're saying it's still good for there to be no oversight over that? All these evil companies can just manipulate your emotions, and the government's supposed to just turn a blind eye, which they're doing now.
They don't fully turn a blind eye. I think they open one eye when it can benefit what they're trying to push, like COVID,
which is never going to help you.
Right. It's not going to help. And also, like, there's ways they're trying to also go after social media influencers. Like it goes a bunch of ways. The SEC charged 8 social media influencers in $100 million stock manipulation scheme in December of 2022. These influencers used Twitter and Discord to pump stocks, then dump for profit. The scheme relied on social algorithms to spread hype faster than regulators could react. So the algorithm doesn't just sell ads, it sells stocks. Fear of missing out is literally a business model. And we've talked about this with crypto. It's like we're in a hype world. I bring this up because we're in a hype world. What trends and what happens, you can make money off there. You can take advantage of people. I don't think it's regulatable in a healthy way. Like you're assuming the government or social media they're going to have some moral high ground. They don't.
They don't. No, especially if you were to leave regulation up to the current administration, you can't argue that they're going to have a moral high ground whatsoever. You know they're going to do what's best for them and their people. But there has to be some right? Shouldn't there be something?
But what exactly would that be? I think we don't have enough goodwill. Like I sound very pessimistic today for some reason, but I just don't think the goodwill of the people is in the hands of corporations or the government.
No, I agree with you there. I agree. So what is that? I guess that's us, and that's the power of the internet, and that's why things like crypto can be so promising because they're a different way to vote. Sort of like what's used with Polymarket, but they're a way that kind of the masses can decide for themselves what democracy was supposed to be like. And I think that's, Paul, you're very right in that it's like these two things we both can't trust, and it's pushing us into a direction where we're going to have to trust ourselves as the average thought to move things forward.
Well, remember this. The problem also with the business model of social media is what gets the most hype and the most attention is negativity. So we're talking about platforms that literally make money off of negativity, and that's also the problem. False or misleading social media posts have statistically significant short-term effects on stock prices, especially negative stories. Listen to this. In 2013, a false report of explosions at the White House wiped out over 130 billion S&P 500 market value within minutes.
Crazy. I'm only laughing because of the just sheer, like, who'd have thought this is reality? Like, these things.
Fear is a hot ticket, man. 2023, a fake tweet showing a fake Pentagon explosion briefly caused the Dow Jones to drop 85 points before rebounding. A fake Eli Lilly tweet in 2022 claiming insulin was free, do you remember this? Led to a $22 billion plunge in the company's market value the next day. So we are in a culture of fear and a culture of spin and hype, but don't forget that it also affects the market, and this has huge ramifications on what's trending and what can actually become popular there.
Right.
So
can we read this again, though? You know what's funny about this? A fake Eli Lilly tweet claiming insulin was free led to a $22 billion plunge in the company's market value. Just think of how messed up that is that insulin being free, a life-saving drug being free, would just destroy a company's valuation. That just shows you, I mean, all of these things are not for the altruistic version of healing these things. They're to make profit, which is, I guess, how you fuel innovation. That's the conundrum of capitalism, right?
Well, it's like I'm defending the freedom of this, but this is a terrible example of it going the wrong way. I mean, who should be responsible when algorithmic feeds move markets, right? The platforms, the users, or the government? I don't know. I can't. I think we need like a polymarket group sort of statistical thing with users that is not. I don't know.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the new form of democracy, but then you have to worry about how is it being influenced and by who. But I think it is the closest maybe thing that we have back to deciding things as a group. But they don't want us to do that. They're going to influence that. They're going to sway it how they want to.
And I bring up the business model of social media being fear-based and negativity-based because we're in a fear culture, you know, and I think that's really where the money is at, you know, sadly. If they can make you click, that can make you buy, you know, and what else can they make you feel?
Right. And they do, like, I had this happen a couple of days ago with all of the wild swings in the market and everything going on because of the standing repo market, the fear, all of this. Like, they're instilling and inciting fear in me where I'm reacting and I'm selling things and maybe selling something that I wouldn't have sold at a loss and losing money because the headlines are scaring me. And that's why I'm bad at investing and trading, because the emotion just overtakes you and it's all built to manipulate your fear.
Well, you know this better than me on the topic of fear, but like the best investments are calculated, right? I mean, this is an advice, by the way, but the best investments probably aren't knee-jerk fear-based investments. No?
Right. No. And that's the thing. That's where the fear and greed index is really interesting. And the VIX is really interesting because you're supposed to watch these meters. And when there is fear, you're supposed to go in and buy. And it feels really scary because you don't know how much further this thing is going to go down. But you're supposed to go when there's blood in the streets, you're supposed to buy. That's what Warren Buffett used to say. And you're supposed to have the balls to be like, I'm going to take this risk that it's going to go back up. And this is how a lot of guys make their money on these big crashes. When you look at these things like the volatility index, the VIX, the fear gauge spikes. When you look at this thing, it's crazy to watch. Like during the financial crisis in 2008, 2009, it spikes up to almost like 80. And in other points, COVID, it spikes up. It just recently spiked up in April with the tariff thing. And that's when everybody is panicked and you're supposed to go in and buy. I mean, good luck to have the emotional fortitude to do that.
Are you looking at this crypto fear and greed index here as well? Look at this chart. You see that?
Every day. Yeah. See, I watch this every day.
Do you?
You're supposed to be watching for when it's in especially extreme fear. Those are buying opportunities. And if you look at the way the chart works out, usually those people who buy at those fearful moments, when they hold on to it long enough, it eventually goes up. And those are the prime opportunities to buy. But it's so scary. You feel like you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's such a sign of where we're at too. It's like outrage and fear-based content keep us engaged longer, right? And the feed, the same psychological loop in the feed that drive market sentiment. It's like your doom scroll is basically an ETF now. It's like we're just constantly in this loop. I want to try something real quick actually, because I like that we're talking about the fear base of social media. I do think doom scrolling now has become such a ridiculous part of culture that this all makes sense to me. I'm just going to open my X right now. I have my X right now.
Oh, how much violence is in your feed right now?
Yeah, wait. I'm just going to show you some fear. Well, these are people. It looks like they are dying, going parasailing. That's one.
Okay. What?
Don't go. That's the first thing I saw when I opened my phone. Someone.
Good morning, Paul. Here's somebody dying.
Here's a street fight. Street fight. Fear. People might want to. This is on the streets. Guys got knocked down the sidewalk.
Terrible. Paul.
Okay, now we got a really cool 4K photo. Oh, good. Now let me keep it going. Let's see. Next thing. This is my real live feed, guys, right now. Another clip of a guy. It looks like he's falling off a bridge.
I'm sorry. I mean, this is just absurd.
Oh, here we go. The guy who's reverse aging himself.
That guy's creepy.
Youngest ever.
Yeah.
Great. Make me feel terrible about the bags under my eyes because I got two kids. Awesome. Look at this. In a matter of seconds.
You watched 9 people die.
Here's a woman cheating or no, she's stealing something from a bank. Great. Guys, what I just did in a matter of seconds, that's a doom scroll right now. We are in a fear-based culture. We see it every day. We're afraid of our neighbors. We're more divisive than ever. And the messed up part is you panic, they profit. This is by design, is my point.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue that at all. I will say that it is interesting, though, the loops that we feed ourselves, even though we know it's wrong, because you built that algorithm, Paul. Like Twitter built it, X built it, but also your choices on what you watch and their understanding how it keeps you glued to the screen there.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about fear. Is it profitable? Can we ever expect platforms or markets to promote calm? Or is volatility just a new business plan for the attention economy? Because as you look at this chart, this is an attention economy, fear and greed index. It kind of goes back to the regulations on the internet we were talking about. It's like, I hate to be the guy that just says, this is how it is. But I also think we're so far gone. How do you correct this? How do we go back to calm? What do I have to click on my algorithm every day? Meditation videos? That's all I see?
Yeah. You got it. Dude, fuck yes. Sorry to get so excited about this, but I have gone through periods of this where the fear, the greed, all of it in investing or crypto, whatever, it gets the best of you. And how do I get back? It's through, and this is going to sound really woo-woo and crazy, but it's through listening to meditations. It's through listening to certain frequencies that either calm your nervous system or align you with something else. If you look at the math of the universe, and I'm sorry to go down this rabbit hole, but it's all weird frequencies. Money is a frequency. We can make that a whole topic. But I find myself having to reset through natural things like that, going out in nature and connecting with that. It's the only thing that kind of resets you. And I think we have to tap more into that, Paul. And I think that's a lot of what your ethos across a lot of these episodes and shows has been, is like connecting back to that old school period where you could slow down and connect with what was real.
Absolutely. I want to ask you guys real quick, what do you do to get out of the doom scroll in your head? Comment below. Let us know how you get out of seeing the world through a negative lens, because I do think, like I just did, you open your phone, you see this negativity, and it's very hard to get away from it. What do you do to get out of it? And then to just push against what you just said, Arthur, yeah, sure, I can go meditate and go outside, but don't forget that these business models for social media are made to profit off of our fear. The algorithms are only supported by negativity. I think that it's a rigged system. So yes, can you detach from social media and find a little bit more balance in your life? Absolutely. But this system is made to drive fear. It's not the other. I think if I clicked on meditation videos on my Instagram for an entire day, the next day, I would still see some of them, but then I would see somebody fighting someone also still.
You would have a meditation video of somebody like, planning
No, it'd be
out how
like
to fight somebody.
guy meditates and then other guy
Gets hit by a
interrupts him, like,
monster
kicking him in the
truck.
face.
Yes.
My point is, I think, and it ties to a bigger issue when we talk about profit and we talk about these algorithms of fear turning profit. Again, our best interest on social media is not our well-being. Our best interest for social media is keeping us there. And what keeps us there? Fear. And what makes more money? Us there. Like, I'm just trying to, I know people kind of understand this, but it gets under my skin because it's like, we're all sort of rats in a cage. The biggest commodity in America right now is attention. That's the biggest commodity, and we give it freely every day. Why? Because we're hooked.
Right. It's a drug. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the dopamine, the science of it.
And as we talk about fear, I want people to understand, like, your fear keeps the machine running. We do have choices to unplug a little bit, but I just dislike that social media, it kind of, you talk about the early beginnings of Facebook. It's like one guy who couldn't get girls trying to rate girls turned into probably having more money than most countries. Like, it's kind of wild, dude. It's just wild.
Yeah. And it shows how emotions drive capitalism. Like, his emotion to succeed or become or whatever, that greed that ends up fueling it, fuels innovation that leads us into really shady, dark corners that we are having these moral dilemmas about right now.
Also, I think I want to make the point for users out there, like, we're all users. We all have a little bit of a stake in how we operate, and we share so much of this ourselves too. You know, like, if it becomes trendy to share something online, most people just want to socially be accepted and they'll do it. Good, bad, ugly, big news story, big political thing. We're all sort of pawns in this system that is kind of treated like, oh, well, it's always been like this. It's social media. It's like, well, no, it's now, the algorithm's worse than ever. The fear is worse than ever. And the profits are bigger than ever. We just, look at the numbers we're talking about this episode. We do have a duty, though, to kind of, we can take part in social media in our own intentional ways that I don't think people even think about sometimes. They go, oh, this big thing's happened. I'm just going to do what everyone else is doing and be a part of this. We're also active participants.
Yeah, you don't have a choice, though, to be a modern person. You can sure be a Luddite and I've thought about it before, getting a flip phone, but then I'm like, no, I want to listen to my Spotify that's profiting this AI drone CEO investing, tech fuel lord. You can't escape it if you want to live a modern life. If you want to drive your car, it's the subscription services, all of it in the algorithm. And this is where it all went wrong. Remember when your timeline was chronological?
Yes.
And then it switched to the algorithm? That was where freedom went bye-bye and fear intensified.
I mean, the algorithm drives the headlines drive the VIX drives trading profits. It's all a loop, man. And don't forget, an algorithm is not a person. An algorithm is artificial intelligence seeing your behavior, your human behavior, and then feeding you back things to keep you in the place you're at. It's a very limited thing. It's like a rat in a cage having cocaine over here and chocolate over here and constantly going back to the cocaine because it's easier. Right? Although in that study, sugar is actually more addictive than cocaine. That's whole nother episode.
Crazy. That's why I got 3 cavities right now. I got to go to the dentist right now, man. I have so much pain in my mouth.
Yeah.
But no, it's for real. And the feedback loop is like complete there. Your fear keeps this whole machine running because big tech companies are big government, and they don't just own the market. They own the mood, your emotions, your fear.
Right. And like I was just saying, the scariest part to me is you liked it and you shared it. Like, you're actively involved in this. Just have a little intention, I guess. And I think, look, I don't want to be a fear monger here, but I do think like there's some information and informing here that's good for us all to think about. Like, we all collectively can overcome. I had this app idea. I'm so mad I didn't make this. I'll say it here in case someone ever sees this and someone wants to like just invest in my app idea and we can make it happen. But basically, it was called the Rotary app, which was, and I think for the next generation, this is going to come back where kids are going away from they see the algorithm and the fear and they go, you know what? I have a choice to remove it a little bit more. But the Rotary app, it never would have worked because the App Store would have never allowed this. But I wanted every app to not work except for the phone and make bring the phone back to its original
Oh.
roots of a rotary phone, which was the rotary phone was the one where you could dial the numbers with
Yes.
the little circle,
Yeah.
and then the user experience would have that little circle on the phone, and that's actually how you would call people.
Yeah.
And we called it rotorizing the phone. So you go to dinner, you say everyone rotarize your phone. You click, everyone clicks a time period,
okay.
1 hour. Nobody can use anything but a telephone.
Yeah.
And you have in the moment stuff, but
Yeah. Now it's just the do not disturb feature on your
do
phone.
not disturb. And there's a couple other apps out there now
like
where
it,
they do kind of strip the phone back to its original.
Hmm.
But think about the invention of the telephone and where we are in history and how not far away in years that really was, and how quickly we've advanced all the way to the internet in your pocket and algorithms ruling every decision you ever made. I mean, it's really, the speed of this is so much. I have such a intentional feeling on it because I think we're allowing so much, and like we're seeing how behind all this the lobbying is becoming policy. You know, they're writing rules before Congress is reading them. Like we're allowing, as citizens, we're allowing this stuff to happen without any votes or any real input from us, and we're just willing participants. You just got to be careful about this, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, what do you do? Your Congress, they just keep bending to them because of the constant re-election cycle. So it never stops, just like the cycle of algorithms and narrative control. They decide what we see, what we believe. And if they want stories like that to be swept under the rug, like Congress, people taking tech money in order to stay in office and giving them favorable laws, that's going to go away because the algorithm controls the narrative here. And fear is the currency. They want you scared. Like, I firmly believe that. This is my own opinion, but the fear, you make irrational decisions with money when you're fearful. Right. And they profit off of that. They scalp the little things and suck money out of you that way.
You know what? Because I don't want to be a fear mongerer here. Guys, it's going to be okay. When you're done watching this episode, go outside, look at the sun, look at the trees, look at the nature, like Arthur said. There's going to be ways to overcome this as people. I think it's a balance that we all need. Just be informed about the fact that, you know, there's money to be made about you being in a constant state of fear, and there's also ways to get out of it. I'm also curious, you know, what are your algorithmic horror stories or finance fear confessions? Let us know. You actually could send it to us. We may talk about it in the next episode. Send it to takes@angry.capital. If it's good, we'll roast it. And if it's bad, we'll still try and make it trend. We want to hear algorithm horror stories or finance fear confessions. What's something crazy you've done out of fear? Some kind of investment maybe, or something.
Lost thousands of dollars just this weekend. I don't want, because my wife.
Right. We don't want you to be scared. We want you to be informed, guys. I think like both of us, we're two guys trying to make a living, trying to save money, trying to figure out how this all makes sense. And specifically for this episode, how to behave in a social media world where we could protect our money and protect our minds, you know, like, come on.
Bro, go listen to the frequency things. I'm telling you, get some binaural beats, put your headphones on, listen to a 432 hertz frequency. Oh, don't listen to your music that's tuned to the wrong frequency. That's a whole other story. Anyway, I'm telling you, just little things that can calm you down.
I want to pull that up on Spotify, but a few episodes ago, we talked about how the Spotify CEO is investing in defense drones. So now I feel funny about that because I'm going to try and meditate, and the whole time I'm going to imagine him killing everyone.
Yeah, it's literally what's happening.
But no, man, stay out of fear, stay smart, stay informed, at the end of the day, protect your money and protect your peace of mind. Thank you guys for watching Angry Capital. We're back 3 times a week. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know your stories, and we'll see you next time.
Oh yeah, man. Peace.
This show is sponsored by Galileo FX, the only automated trading software that shows you the wins and losses before you buy. Learn more at store.galileofx.com.